Hello, I'm Lauren James. I'm a young adult science fiction author. My latest novel is The Quiet at the End of the World, which is about the future of the human race after we all go infertile due to a pandemic virus which spreads across the planet. It's kind of a feel-good post-apocalyptic novel, which I know sounds a bit funny, and I wanted to read to you today from some of the social media posts included in the novel. So I started writing this before the coronavirus pandemic, and it's been very eerie to see it come true over the last few weeks, that hopefully it might comfort some of you to see a fictional representation of someone going through something similar to what we are. Maya Waverley posted on the 22nd of February 2024. It feels slightly futile to throw another post into the writhing sea of social media posts discussing this, but I'm going to do it anyway just because it's 3 in the morning and I can't sleep without processing this in some way. Yesterday, my mum got a nosebleed. I called an ambulance and it turned out that not only was the operator's nose also bleeding, mine was too. I hung up and checked online, but there was nothing on the news. It was only when I checked social media and saw everyone posting about it that I realised that this was happening everywhere. It wasn't just a local or national thing. All over the world, people were posting about their noses bleeding. I know everyone is saying this, but at that point I honestly thought I was going to die. I started planning what I wanted to do with the time left. I hugged my mum and told her I loved her. I did the same to the cat, who hissed at me and ran outside. Thanks, Jeff. I tried to call my dad, but the call didn't connect. Probably because everyone in the country was doing the same thing. At that point my panic kind of transitioned into this horrible acceptance. Mum suggested we make cups of tea and I agreed instantly. We sat in front of the TV and refreshed social media, waiting for the nosebleeds to make it onto the news. It took about 25 minutes. Around this time, all our phones beeped. An emergency alert had been sent out warning people to stay in their homes in quarantine. I'd heard of phone alerts in hurricane zones, but I had no idea that the government could do that in the UK too. That ranks up there amongst the most horrifying moments of my life. Watching the news made it all about 100 times worse. You could tell that no one had any idea what was going on. Everyone was just speculating in increasingly horrifying and imaginative ways. We agreed to turn off the TV, and then when it became clear that there was nothing we could do except wait for news, we all decided to go and have a nap. I lay in bed trying not to refresh my feed. I tried to read, but I remembered I was reading a book about an apocalypse and actually threw my e-reader at the wall in horror. I must have fallen asleep because when Dad woke me up it was dark. There'd been another alert. The virus wasn't life-threatening, but the quarantine was still in place. I don't remember feeling relieved at that. I was kind of keyed up still. My parents must have been too, because we all directed our panic in another direction. We checked the cupboards and tried to work out how much food we had and how long it might last if the quarantine continued. Dad was furious for a bit because he had nearly gone to Costco a few days before and we could have been overflowing with bulk goods. The process was delayed by a hysterical screaming match about this from all parties. None of us had shouted when we thought we were going to die, so we must have been feeling a lot better, even if it didn't feel like that at the time. Dad suggested we go to Costco then, but I refused to start scavenging for supplies 5 hours into the end of the world, so we made jacket potatoes and watched a film instead. Then we went to bed like it was a normal day, because what can you do at that point except give up? That was the first day of our new normal. Nothing will ever make this easy, but I think writing this out did help a bit. I'm so sorry that this was so long, and if you read it. I just needed to say something, even if it's the same as what everyone else is saying. This is something we're all going through, and I think it does help that we can go through it together. I can't imagine how hard this would have been without social media. 24th of February 2024. So much for feeling calmer. Today I can't stop showering and showering trying to get the virus off me. I know that's not how it works, but it helps somehow to turn the water up as hot as I can until my skin turns pink. I ignore the pain and scrub at my face until it feels tender, gargle mouthfuls of soap and spit it out in the drain. I still feel infected, like the virus is all over me. I don't know what to do. Maya Waverley, 17th of March 2024. I had the most horrible dream last night. I dreamt I had a nosebleed. I was crying and tears were rolling down my cheeks, merging with the blood that was flowing from my nose. It dripped into my mouth, warm and salty, coating my tongue and sliding down my throat. I couldn't swallow it and it cooled into a thick mass, choking me. Then my alarm went off and I woke up. When I tried to wipe away the blood, there was nothing there. Every morning I can't stop myself from checking my reflection for blood as I clean my teeth. I spit into my hand a few times a day, checking to see if the saliva is clear. I don't know how to make myself stop expecting it to happen again. 7th of April 2024. Whoa. This article is so weird. It makes sense though. I'm still having nightmares about the virus. I definitely wouldn't want to have a baby right now. I can see how other people might feel the same way and try putting it off for a bit. Linked article. Doctors report drop in women conceiving babies. NHS doctors are reporting a 60% drop in the number of women making appointments with their doctors to start antenatal care. The NHS believes that women have stopped trying to conceive in the wake of the virus, which spread throughout the world in February. This has sparked concerns that people previously hoping to conceive have started using contraception, possibly out of fears that the virus, which caused nosebleeds, might affect the baby. The virus is of unknown origin and has yet to be fully understood by virologists. The NHS has made a statement encouraging women to book appointments with their GPs if they think they might be pregnant or have concerns about beginning a pregnancy while the virus is still in their system. 22nd of May 2024. Please, can we all stop with the nosebleed memes? It's really not funny. I know you're all trying to process your grief in a cacophony of blasé and humorous ways, but if I mute one more of you, there'll be no one left on my timeline. 25th of May 2024. I just saw the news. Is this real? What the hell? How can a virus do something like this? How can that even affect fertility? I thought women had just stopped trying to get pregnant. Not that the virus had made us all infertile. This is a whole other level of awful. I cannot even begin to imagine anything worse. What do we do? How can this have happened? 26th of May 2024. I really wanted to be a mum one day. It hurts so much that I might never get that chance. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm young enough that, even if this crisis takes a decade to fix, I might still get a chance to have kids. But my friend Ashley has been trying to have a baby for years, and now it looks like she's lost her last chance. My heart hurts for all the women like her. I really hope that the doctors solve this quickly. #together and undefeated. Riz Stevens, 26th of September 2024. Debating whether it's more feasible to spend the rest of my life in cheerful ignorance or continuous weeping. Both seem equally reasonable responses to the news today. Maya Waverley in response. Every time I watch the news, my brain starts shuddering like a wet dog in a clean Porsche. Everything is going to rot and there's nothing any of us can do to stop it. Riz Stevens in reply. This is exactly it. Maya Waverley. I just signed this petition. Give IVF scientists unlimited funding. Nothing else is more important than solving the sterility crisis. I want the EU to give unlimited resources to all research groups working on fertility and IVF treatments. As many scientists as possible need to pause their current work and start researching the problem too. Please sign this petition to bring this to the attention of the EU. 20th of October 2024. I just bought a Fund the Search hoodie from here. The proceeds are donated to a charity supporting fertility research and their designs are really nice. The dresses have pockets. Definitely check them out. Warning! Children are being stolen from school playgrounds. The government has issued a national warning after 14 children were kidnapped at knife point from school classrooms up and down the country yesterday. 6 schools were attacked in total in Liverpool, Birmingham and Chelsea. One teacher at a school in Liverpool said that 3 men in balaclavas and armed with knives had burst into the classroom during the last lesson of the day. 6 children were taken in that attack. I've never been more terrified in my life, she said. I didn't think things like this happened in this country. I should have done more to stop them, but I just wasn't expecting it. I'm absolutely devastated. All schools are closed until further notice while emergency measures are put in place. The Prime Minister told press that she encouraged everyone to remain calm, saying, "This is the work of a few very upset and confused individuals. We urge them to think about the parents of the children who were taken. Please let them go home safely. There is no reason to make an irreversible decision which you will regret for the rest of your life, when all signs point to the sterility being fixed within a time frame of 3 to 4 months." The latest reports from scientists working on the sterility indicate that no progress has yet been made on reversing the effects of the virus, despite the Prime Minister's statement. If anyone has seen any of the missing children or noticed suspicious activity in their neighbourhood, please call the police immediately. Maya Waverley posted, "My surprise that this might be exceedingly naive, but what the hell? How can this be happening? How are people so desperate for kids that they'll steal them? Is that actually a thing that is happening in the world right now at this very moment? Are we suddenly living in some kind of Stephen King novel? Am I the only one who thought that the human race could survive for more than 5 minutes without making an abject embarrassment to ourselves? I'm going to make an obvious and unnecessary statement here, but I wish everything would just get fixed so that life could go back to normal." 19th of November 2024. Does anyone else ever feel like the time before the sterility was just a weird and incredibly boring dream? This version of reality feels normal now. That's horrible, but it's true. It feels bizarre that kids used to be able to walk around without an armed guard, that I used to take birth control, that there used to be whole aisles of the supermarket that just sold baby stuff. I can't believe it's been 9 months of this nightmare already. It's not even shocking anymore. I've just started getting on with life again. For a long time I've been living day to day while I get used to this new version of normal, but now small things like traffic jams and broken mugs have started annoying me again. No women have been able to get pregnant since February, but I'm just like, ugh, I've got loads of homework to do. I'm out of milk. Same old. Our strange and adaptive human brains can get used to anything, plague or ice age or nuclear war or even the end of children. Riz Stevens replied, "How could you live though if you spent every day fully contemplating the real tragedy of it? How would it be possible to get up in the morning? The human brain has to protect itself somehow, even if it feels negligent to accept things the way they are without making even the smallest effort towards mourning it. It feels a little like we should all be wearing black crepe, wailing as we roam the halls of silent mansions like rich Victorian widows." Maya Waverley replied, "Do you think that when this is all fixed and over and done with, we'll forget all about it? Will I one day tell my grandchildren about the whole thing as a horrible but exciting anecdote? Will it seem like a bizarre dream that lasted a few months before normal broadcasting returns? I'm not sure I'm the same person I was before this happened. I'm not sure any of us are. We've seen the desperate truth of how badly humans can behave when we're forced into a corner. If life went back to normal, how could we stand it?" So that's a little bit from the book. Hopefully you found something relatable and comforting in that. If you haven't read the book yet, I hope you check it out and enjoy it.